November 2023. A single word explodes across every social platform simultaneously. Not a politician's gaffe, not a celebrity scandal, just four letters, SKIB. Within 48 hours, parents are confused, teachers are baffled, and Gen Z, they're speaking an entirely different language. But here's what nobody tells you. This isn't random. Every viral slang term, every meme that breaks the internet follows a pattern, a digital archaeology that makes perfect sense once you see it. The word skibidi didn't come from a song, a movie, or a celebrity. It came from a toilet, literally. A Russian animator named Alexei Gerasimov uploaded 11-second video in February 2023, singing toilets fighting camera-headed humans. Absurdist, chaotic, inexplicably addictive. By summer, 8-year-olds were obsessed. By fall, Gen Alpha had weaponized it into their vocabulary, and Gen Z, they turned it into linguistic chaos. This is the moment slang stopped being about rebellion and started being about something else entirely, ironic incomprehensibility. And it's rewriting how humans communicate. In 2023, a single word cost Kamala Harris thousands of Gen Z votes. She said brat wrong, not the pronunciation, the context. And just like that, credibility gone. This isn't about being cool, it's about being understood. When Duolingo's TikTok account uses unhinged correctly, their downloads spike 40%. When Ryanair posts "we're so back," bookings follow. Slang has become the fastest trust signal in human history. Faster than a handshake, faster than eye contact. One correctly used no cap and you're in the circle. But get it wrong? You're not just uncool, you're a threat. Because if you don't understand our language, how can you understand our problems? Here's what most people miss. Gen Z slang isn't rebellion, it's encryption. A way to communicate in plain sight while keeping algorithms, parents, and authorities one step behind. When teens say camping, they might mean drinking. Snow could mean cocaine or just snow. Context is everything, and if you're not fluent, you can't decode. This matters in hospitals. A teen says they're geeking. Are they laughing or overdosing? In schools, gas could mean good music or actual violence. The stakes are real. And in boardrooms, companies spend millions trying to crack the code. Because Gen Z has $360 billion in spending power, and they only spend with brands that speak their language. But here's the trap. By the time a brand learns a term, it's already dead. Slay went from underground ballrooms in the 80s to your aunt's Facebook in 2024. Lifespan, deceased. The revolution will not be televised. It'll be encoded in slang you won't understand until it's too late. So when your kid says it's giving, or ate, or understood the assignment, they're not just talking, they're deciding who gets to be part of the conversation and who doesn't. Welcome to the economy of understanding, where fluency is currency, and being out of the loop doesn't just make you uncool, it makes you irrelevant. Your mom just texted you, "That's awesome, no cap," and you physically cringed. But here's the thing. She's using slang that came from the same Atlanta trap houses that gave us Migos and Future. The year is 2017. Atlanta's hip-hop scene is exploding, and rappers are saying no cap in every other bar. But what does it actually mean? In the streets, capping meant lying or fronting, pretending to be something you're not. So no cap literally means no lie, or I'm being 100% real with you. The slang traces back even further to the 1940s, when high capping meant bragging or exaggerating. Black American culture has been inventing language your English teacher never taught you for decades. Future and Young Thug were dropping no cap in tracks as early as 2012, but it stayed underground. Then came 2017, the year no cap went nuclear. And here's where it gets interesting. The phrase that took a century to evolve took only 3 years to reach your suburban high school and your mom's text messages. By 2019, no cap was everywhere. Instagram captions, TikTok videos, even corporate Twitter accounts trying way too hard to be relatable. But here's the real question. When does slang die? The moment everyone's using it, or the moment your parents discover it? Plot twist. Gen Z doesn't actually care if older generations use it. The Atlanta creators who popularized it, they're laughing all the way to the bank while you're gatekeeping their invention. Next time you hear no cap, remember, You're speaking a dialect that traveled from southern streets to global phenomenon in less time than it takes to graduate high school. November 2023. Oxford University Press makes an announcement that sends shockwaves through the internet. Riz is officially the word of the year. Beating out terms like Swifty and prompt, this four-letter word had somehow convinced one of the world's most prestigious dictionaries that it mattered. But here's what most people don't know. Riz wasn't born from TikTok trends or viral videos. It started with three guys streaming video games in 2021. Kai Cenat, Silky, and Duke Dennis, three streamers who were just messing around, rating each other's ability to talk to girls. Kai Cenat started shortening the word charisma during streams. Charisma, just the middle part, Riz. It was stupid. It was perfect. At first, it was an inside joke. If you had game, you had Riz. If you fumbled the conversation, zero Riz. The community ate it up. By mid-2022, the term exploded beyond Twitch. TikTok creators started using it, then Instagram, then your younger cousin at Thanksgiving dinner. But here's where it gets interesting. Riz evolved. People started creating categories. W-Riz meant you had game. L-Riz meant you crashed and burned. Then came unspoken Riz, the ability to attract someone without saying a word. Just pure presence. The internet declared this the highest form. Spider-Man became the unlikely poster boy for unspoken Riz. Tom Holland's upside-down kiss, Ryan Gosling in any movie, peak unspoken Riz energy. The term even spawned a nemesis, being Rizless, the ultimate insult. No game, no charm, no chance. By 2023, celebrities were using it. Tom Holland joked about his Riz in interviews. Even older millennials were trying to figure out if they had it. But the real genius of Riz, it filled a linguistic gap. We had words for being attractive, funny, or smart, but not for that indefinable romantic charisma. Oxford noticed. In their announcement, they cited a meteoric rise in usage, up over 200% from the previous year. Kai Cenat's joke had become legitimate language. When Kai Cenat found out, he couldn't believe it. A word he made up while gaming was now in the same dictionary as Shakespeare's contributions. Today, Riz has fully entered the mainstream. Dating apps reference it. Parents awkwardly use it. Teachers have banned it in classrooms. From a Twitch stream to Oxford's Word of the Year in just 2 years. That's not just viral, that's linguistic evolution in real time. So the next time someone asks if you have Riz, remember, you're using a word that accidentally rewrote the dictionary. No cap. Delulu is the Salulu. It sounds insane. It is insane. And somehow it became the most viral self-help mantra of 2023. Delulu, short for delusional. Salulu, solution. The philosophy, being delusional, is the solution. Manifestation culture just got a Gen Z rebrand. This didn't come from Silicon Valley life coaches. It came from K-pop stan Twitter, where fans convinced themselves their favorite idol noticed them in a crowd of 50,000. K-pop stans have always lived in a state of organized delusion. They believe their streaming counts matter, that their fan cams will go viral, that Oppa will read their comment. And here's the thing, sometimes it works. Their coordinated efforts have crashed ticketing sites, dominated charts, and genuinely shifted music industry power dynamics. So when K-pop stans said Delulu is the Solulu, they weren't joking. They had evidence. Collective delusion had given them real-world results. The phrase exploded in early 2023 when fans started applying it to everything. Crush doesn't text back? Delulu is the Solulu, just keep believing. It spread beyond K-pop into relationship advice, career goals, fitness journeys. Suddenly everyone was being strategically delusional about their dreams. Critics called it toxic positivity. Psychologists raised eyebrows. But Gen Z didn't care. They'd watch their parents' realistic expectations lead to burnout and disappointment. This is manifestation culture weaponized into a meme, The Secret. But make it ironic, self-aware enough to laugh at itself, sincere enough to actually try. By mid-2023, you couldn't scroll without seeing it. Job interviews, dating apps, college applications, everyone was being delulu about their chances. The phrase became so massive that even brands tried to co-opt it, which, predictably, is exactly when Gen Z started to kill it. But here's what makes this phrase actually fascinating. It's irony as armor. Gen Z can believe in their dreams while also acknowledging how ridiculous that is. It's optimism for a generation that grew up with climate anxiety, economic collapse, and pandemic isolation. Hope, but make it a joke so it hurts less if it fails. K-pop stans accidentally wrote the modern self-help manual. Be delusional, but know you're being delusional. Try anyway. Laugh at yourself. Repeat. Gyat. You've seen it everywhere. Comment sections, TikToks, your little cousin yelling it at their phone. But this word has an origin story so unhinged, it'll make you question everything about internet culture. It starts in 2022 with a Twitch streamer named Your Rage. Not a celebrity, not a musician, a guy streaming video games to teenagers. Whenever an attractive woman appeared on screen, he'd yell, "Jat!" An exaggerated, shortened version of "goddamn," just pure, unfiltered reaction. His chat went absolutely feral. They started spamming it, clipping it, remixing it. Within weeks, it escaped Twitch and infected TikTok like a virus. But here's where it gets weird. Gen Z didn't just copy it, they evolved it. It became a rating system. 1 jat means nothing. 5 jats means you're stunned speechless. Then came the mutations. Gyat became gyat, then gyat with extra T's for emphasis. Then it fused with other slang, gyat riz. The word evolved faster than scientists could track it. And this is the part that'll blow your mind. Most people using it have no idea it came from a Twitch streamer. They think it's just language. That's how fast internet culture moves now. By mid-2023, Gyat had 14 billion views on TikTok. Billion, with a B. A random gamer's exclamation became a linguistic phenomenon in under a year. Teachers started hearing it in classrooms. Parents heard it at dinner tables. News outlets tried explaining it and failed miserably. The word had officially broken containment. But here's the real question. Is Gyat actually a compliment, a catcall, or just absurdist humor? Even Gen Z can't agree. And that's exactly why it works. Because Gyat isn't really about meaning anymore, it's about belonging. If you get it, you're in. If you don't, you're the adult trying to decode their language, and they can spot you immediately. Your Rage accidentally created a generational shibboleth, a word that separates digital natives from everyone else, and he did it by just reacting to his screen. So next time you hear Gyat, remember, you're witnessing linguistic evolution in real time. A single streamer's exclamation became the battle cry of an entire generation in 12 months. And the wildest part? By the time this video is done, Gyat might already be dead, replaced by something even more unhinged. That's Gen Z. That's the internet. That's language now. When someone says, it's giving main character energy, or it's giving expensive, they're speaking a language born in the underground ballroom scene of 1980s Harlem. The phrase comes from Black and Latino LGBTQ+ ballroom competitions, where houses would compete in categories, serving looks that had to give a specific vibe. Giving face meant your expression was flawless. Giving body meant your physique was perfect. The phrase described the energy or essence something radiated. Paris is Burning, the 1990 documentary, brought this language to mainstream awareness, but it stayed relatively underground for decades. Fast forward to 2018, the show Pose and a new generation of Black queer creators on social media sparked the revival. But here's where it gets messy, and this is the pattern you need to understand about Gen Z slang. TikTok shortened it. Instead of giving face or giving expensive, Gen Z started saying just "it's giving" as a complete statement, changing the grammar entirely. By 2020, white influencers were using it constantly, often with zero knowledge of its ballroom origins or the Black queer pioneers who created it. Ballroom legends like Laomi Maldonado called this out. Their language was being commodified while their community remained marginalized. The phrase became so mainstream that brands started using it. Chipotle tweeted, "It's giving guac." Duolingo built campaigns around it. What started as a nuanced descriptor in a marginalized community became a catch-all phrase that everyone uses but few understand. Today, "it's giving" has dozens of variations. Giving main character, giving broke, giving delulu. The flexibility made it unstoppable. But every time you use it, you're speaking words shaped by Black trans women and queer performers who risked everything to express themselves. The question isn't whether slang should spread, It's whether we acknowledge where it came from and support those communities. Next time someone says it's giving, ask them if they know about the houses of Harlem. Most won't. Now you do. You've already done it. That word you used ironically last month, you said it seriously yesterday. This isn't about understanding Gen Z. This is about watching language evolve in real time. Every slang term we've covered started as a joke. Slay was drag culture. Yeet was a kid throwing a can. Riz was streamers making fun of pickup lines. Now they're in the dictionary. Corporations spend millions trying to decode this. Marketing teams build entire campaigns around it. But you just live through the tutorial. Because here's what they don't get. Slang isn't a code to crack. It's a feeling to understand. It's community translated into sound. When your nephew says something is mid, he's not insulting it. He's participating in a linguistic tradition older than English itself. Creating in-group markers, building identity. And you're already fluent in this pattern. You just needed the context, the receipts, the lore. Tomorrow, someone will coin a word that spreads to 50 million people in 48 hours. Next month, it'll be on a billboard. Next year, it'll feel ancient. The speed isn't the anomaly. The visibility is. For the first time in history, we're watching linguistic evolution happen in public, in real time, with full documentation. Linguists used to dig through letters and books to track how words spread over decades. Now they just need to scroll. Which means you're not just learning slang, you're witnessing the future of communication being written, and you're holding the pen too. Every time you share a meme, you vote. Every time you use a phrase, you propagate. You're not consuming culture, you're creating it. So the next time someone asks what Delulu means, don't just tell them. Tell them where it came from, who shaped it, how it traveled. Because context isn't just trivia. It's the difference between speaking a language and understanding a culture. You came here to decode Gen Z. You're leaving as an anthropologist of the digital age. And that word that's trending right now, the one you don't quite get yet, give it 3 weeks. You'll be saying it without thinking. Welcome to tomorrow's slang. You've been speaking it all along. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out other videos.